Hi there, welcome to the second episode of my 10-minute moan of today. And the topic of this one is SNP Minister who has not only lied to the Scottish public, she's also incompetent because she is the subject of two incredible stories over the last few days. Now, the person in question is Public Health Minister Jenni Minto, or to give her a very odd full title, the Public Health Minister and Women's Health, which kind of don't understand that. I just thought women were public, members of the public, so I don't know why. But anyway, that's her title. And there's two things she's became well known for in the last 48, 72 hours. And one is telling lies about gender ideology teachings in schools. And the other is a car crash interview when the figures of the highest amount of alcohol-related deaths in Scotland for 15 years came to light over the last 24 hours. So taking the first story first, this is a question of her telling lies in Parliament about gender ideology in the curriculum. So I'm going to use the Sunday Post as reference here, and their headline is "Minister Misled Parliament over Gender Ideology." Public Health Minister Jenni Minto has been accused of misleading Parliament twice on the same day. SNP MSP and former Government Minister Fergus Ewing is calling for Miss Minto to apologise and correct the record after she insisted gender identity is not taught in schools. Last week in Parliament, Ewing asked Minto to remove all gender ideology references from teaching about relationships, sexual health and parenthood, and remove third-party activist groups from schools. Kind of agree with Fergus there, that seems like quite a good thing to do. However, Minto replied, children and young people are not taught about their own gender identity in schools. That is a personal matter for any individual and, in the case of young people, their family. That prompted criticism from families who say their children have been captured by the dangerous gender ideology being taught. Scottish Government guidance states that teachers should encourage children to be whatever kind of boy or girl they want to be, free from stereotypes and gender-based expectations. Quite clearly talking about their gender and not as a third person. And guidance for teachers in Primary 1 school said pupils should have opportunities to discuss gender identity and sexuality. Ewing said, I've been inundated with comments from people with clear examples that this is taught in schools. I'm therefore now writing to the Minister to ask she withdraw this false statement, correct the record and apologise. Now, asking her to apologise is kind of pointless, Fergus, and I'll come on to that why later on when I cover the second part of this video about Jenni Minto, okay? Excuse me. Ewing, previously suspended for rebelling against the party line, added, I had better prepare for another suspension. I should ask if the camper van is free. Fergus, you're just like the kid in this playground sticking two fingers up to a teacher that's giving you into trouble. But I salute you, sir, because that was fantastic. Not only are you having a pop, that you're out against party line again and you'll probably get a suspension, but you're making a cracking one-liner about camper vans. Fair play to you. I do not hate people that are nationalists. I just hate the cult ones in the SNP. So you, Fergus, are coming up in my estimations by the hour. Well done, sir. I salute you. Minto insisted that GPs had been fully consulted over moves to have them prescribe gender-changing medications despite concerns from the Royal College of GPs and the General Medical Council. She said, we had very clear consultation across the board to ensure that the published reports provide the right standard for Scotland to move forward with regard to gender identity healthcare. But MSP Stephen Kerr said, by not giving complete answers to what GPs feel about being expected to be writing prescriptions for powerful gender-changing drugs, Minto clearly misled Parliament. GPs do not feel they have been consulted. They don't have the expertise nor the training. Scottish Government said The Supporting Transgender Young People in Schools guidance does not recommend pupils are encouraged to socially transition. And any claim otherwise is completely incorrect. So they're backing the Minto woman, who was told absolute lies. So they're doubling down. Alba MSP Ash Reagan said it was frustrating on Tuesday to hear Jenni Minto inflame what she described as an often toxic commentary by adding confusion in her statement and answers to the critical matter of Scotland's progress on full implementation of the 32 CAS review recommendations on gender identity healthcare for young people. The Minister's answer to Fergus Ewing that children and young people are not taught about their own gender identity in schools must weigh heavy on those courageous families who attended the Parliamentary Roundtable in May this year to share their traumatic experiences of gender ideology at school, influencing their very vulnerable children that they were born in the wrong body. So that's story one, right? Story two is the news figures about alcohol deaths in Scotland were released 24 hours ago. And guess who has part of that in their portfolio? Yes, Jenni Minto. So, the figures, I've done a video about it yesterday. I'll put it at the end. I'll put a wee link to it in the corner. We have just released the worst alcohol death figures in Scotland for 15 years. We are worst per head of capita in the United Kingdom. So in England, in Wales, and Northern Ireland, you're less likely to die of alcohol abuse or related deaths. So normal people would be quite ashamed of that, probably want to apologise about it, probably want to accept responsibility. No Jenni Minto. Let's watch her car crash interview with STV, which they put out last night.
But your target is to reduce alcohol deaths. You've failed, manifestly.
We are working to try and reduce the deaths with the various policies that we have.
And you failed because there's the highest number of deaths in 15 years. You failed.
I don't believe that is the case. I think we are progressing to reduce.
Is this what success looks like to you?
As I have said, it is disappointing that we have had that level of death in Scotland due to alcohol. The Scottish Government is working and investing money to try to reduce this. We work across the board with various third sector organisations to find the best ways, the innovative ways to try and reduce alcohol deaths in Scotland.
So you're disappointed by your results?
I have said that I'm disappointed in the number of deaths due to alcohol in Scotland.
So you're disappointed by your results?
I'm disappointed with the number of deaths due to alcohol in Scotland.
Do you owe the families an apology?
I offer all the families that have lost loved ones due to alcohol my sincerest condolences and sympathies, and I hope that they understand that we are working to try to reduce the number of alcohol deaths so that other families don't experience the heartbreak that they have experienced.
Do you think you'll be able to get the number of alcohol-related deaths down next year?
That's what the investment that we have put into alcohol work
It's your ministerial brief, it's your responsibility. Do you think you'll be able to deliver that?
I am working hard with colleagues to try and deliver that.
And if you don't?
I am working hard with colleagues to try and deliver a reduction in deaths in Scotland due to alcohol.
There we go. What an absolute car crash. So, she won't admit it's their fault. She won't admit that it's a poor set of results. More people have died year on year, right? So, it's the worst since, 2009, right? Will not accept that that's a bad result. Is asked quite clearly, do you think you can reduce the alcohol deaths next year? Wouldn't say yes or no. But the most appalling thing to me was the pause, where she looked absolutely lost when asked a simple question. And that was relating to the families of those people that have died in this vastly ridiculous number of alcohol deaths in Scotland, where she couldn't give an answer. She was absolutely floored. And this is the SNP technique of accept responsibility for nothing. To be fair to her though, she didn't say Westminster, Tory, Labour or Brexit in her answer for excuses, because normally that's what the SNP do. But before we finish up, just let me remind you of how she reacted when asked a simple question: if the families of the bereaved needed and required and deserved an apology.
Do you owe the families an apology?
Absolutely ridiculous interview. However, we've had 17 years of them. It's kind of what we expect. So we tell lies, we accept no responsibility, and we offer no apology. That's the SNP way. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing and hitting the notifications bell. But most importantly of all, see, unless you're Jenni Minto, the SNP ministers, with the exception of Mr. Ewing and a couple of others.
Everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.